Greetings, dear viewers. As the hands of time inch closer to the fateful July, ancient prophecies, long buried in the dust of disbelief, begin to stir once more, whispering warnings of a cataclysm silently drawing near. Throughout history, countless seers and sages left behind cryptic messages, words that once seemed far-fetched, but now echo eerily in the chaos of 2025. And only now are we beginning to look back in terror. A massive earthquake shaking Southeast Asia. An event no one saw coming. Except it was seen in prophecies written decades ago. The eerie prediction of Vietnamese mystic Nguyễn Bỉnh Khiêm: when the dragon dies in flood, the snake dies in drought, seems to be unfolding right before us. What do you think? Were we warned, but simply refused to listen? Just look around. Waves of violent earthquakes one after another. Strange diseases re-emerging. Wars spreading like wildfire. Infernos consuming entire regions. And all of it in 2025. Is this a coincidence? Or the prelude to something far worse? If these ancient visions hold even a fragment of truth, then this July could mark not peace, but an irreversible turning point. Which begs the question, who was it that saw all this coming, long before we ever knew? Have you ever heard of a blind woman who couldn't care for herself, yet claimed to see the future clearer than anyone else? That was Baba Vanga, the legendary mystic from Bulgaria. She couldn't see the light, but her words lit up the darkest corners of humanity's future. From 9/11 to the collapse of the Soviet Union, to Japan's 2011 tsunami, and even the COVID-19 pandemic. All of it foretold by her, years in advance. And now, her chilling prophecy for 2025 is beginning to unfold. She warned, nature will strike. A massive earthquake will mark the beginning of global unrest. And sure enough, the ground is already shaking. Sorrow is spreading. What do you think? Are we living inside the very prophecy she saw decades ago? In just 3 days at the end of May 2025, the world was gripped by sorrow as 10 earthquakes rocked Myanmar. The worst struck on May 28th. A 7.7 magnitude quake killed over 2,700 people. Thousands more injured. Villages erased from existence. People digging through rubble with bare hands. Crying for loved ones trapped beneath. The world stood in silent pain. Shockwaves reached Vietnam. Hundreds of homes cracked. In Thailand, a high-rise collapsed mid-construction. 20 lives lost. Children orphaned in minutes. That same day, May 31st, Nevada, USA, was hit by 4 back-to-back quakes. Chaos, panic, confusion. Even the South Pacific wasn't spared. A village there shook violently. A global wave of destruction. Could this be the prophecy coming true? Barely halfway into 2025, the Earth keeps shaking with fury. A 7.1 magnitude quake triggered a tsunami warning. Panic swept through an island nation. Then, on April 4th, another 6.2 magnitude quake hit near Japan. Many believe March and April marked the true catastrophe for the land of the rising sun. But maybe this is only the beginning. More chilling is this. 2 of the greatest prophets in history, Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, though centuries apart, both predicted the same nightmare for 2025. Baba Vanga warned, a brutal war will erupt in Europe. The population will drop rapidly. Nostradamus wrote, where civilization once bloomed, blood will flow. A mighty force from the north will shake Europe to its core. And now, as real-world tensions rise across the continent, do you believe it's prophecy is unfolding? While the Russia-Ukraine war rages on, fresh tensions simmer at the France-Germany border and the North Sea. And just as the world hopes for calm, Nostradamus delivers a chilling prophecy. A plague worse than COVID will rise. An ancient death returns, starting in the land of fog. Baba Vanga warned similarly. Europe's population will face a major threat this year. Scientists in the UK are now raising alarms over a comeback of the plague and tuberculosis, driven by climate change and weakening antibiotics. Across Asia, authorities are monitoring flesh-eating bacteria and mutated dengue. If these spread, the damage could rival COVID. Most disturbing, on January 1st, 2025, China reported a strange new virus, HMPV. Hospitals flooded, parents in masks clutching children, waiting in long lines. Could this be the ancient death returning, just as foretold? Pediatric wards are overflowing, crematoriums and funeral homes are packed. Even Vietnam, far from the outbreak, can't sit still. Everyone hopes the strange disease doesn't spread any further. Of course, prophecies are just predictions, some right, some wrong. But the massive earthquake in Myanmar, which was foreseen in advance, has already come true with terrifying accuracy. Enough to make many believe 2025 may be far from peaceful. And now, another prophecy is shaking the world. In the West, we have Baba Vanga and Nostradamus. But in Asia, all eyes are turning to Abhigya Anand, the teenage boy from India known as the prophecy prodigy. Anand rose to fame after accurately predicting the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Then again, when he warned of the Russia-Ukraine war before it erupted, no one expected. A 14-year-old could see what the world refused to believe. In August 2024, at the Asia Blockchain Summit in Taiwan, where Anand was invited as a speaker, the entire room fell silent as he gave his next prophecy. May 2025 will mark a turning point for humanity. If this story made you reflect, touched your heart, or opened your eyes, leave a comment, drop a heart, share it with someone you care about, and don't forget to subscribe. Because the more we awaken together, the stronger we become. For over 500 years, the prophecies of Nguyễn Bỉnh Khiêm, Vietnam's legendary seer, have haunted generations. And now, in 2025, those ancient words seem to be coming true. A massive fire in Myanmar injured over 100 people. China is battling its worst wildfires in recorded history. In Vietnam, deadly blazes erupt, from a late-night fire in Linh Dam to a tragic blaze in Ho Chi Minh City that took 3 lives. Viewers may suddenly recall the eerie verse, "When the dragon dies by flood, the snake dies by drought. Rice split by bowls, grain scattered by weight." That old prophecy is eerily aligning with today. In 2024, the year of the dragon, came record-breaking floods in northern Vietnam during the 7th lunar month. Homes destroyed, possessions washed away. Villagers wept as water swallowed everything. Now in 2025, the year of the snake, fires spread, the land dries up, chaos unfolds. Has the snake begun to die by drought, just as foretold? In the dead of night, while cries still echoed, the next tragedy struck, just months into the year of the snake, 2025. Vietnam has already suffered wave after wave of fires. A chilling match to the ancient line. When the snake dies by drought. And it's not just here. Wildfires rage through the US and South Korea. A gas pipeline explosion in Malaysia unleashes a sea of flames. In that inferno, wealth means nothing. The lucky survive by fate. The rest vanish in smoke and ash. It's heartbreak, beyond words. But the prophecy doesn't stop there. Nguyễn Bỉnh Khiêm also wrote, "Beetle leaves for weddings. No one buys. Rice split by bowls. Grain scattered by weight." This verse warns of food shortages. Tan lang, symbolizing wedding rituals, now useless, unsellable. Because who cares for ceremonies when people can't even eat? When disaster strikes, fire and famine walk hand in hand. How long can humanity hold on? As the old saying goes, when beetle thrives, rice fails. A warning of famine and crop failure, fires, drought, and now hunger. How are people supposed to survive? But it doesn't stop there. March is now being flagged by seers as a time of global catastrophe, and just hearing March stirs fear, because numbers like 3 and 7 have long been tied to unspeakable tragedies. The mysterious disappearance of MH370, Vietnam's Mi-171 military helicopter crash, May 7, 2014. Just 10 days later, the horrific MH17 tragedy shot down over Ukraine. Now, look at the pattern. Boeing 777, Flight MH17, first flew on July 17, 1997. It crashed 17 years later, at exactly 1717 Ukrainian time. Coincidence? Or are we trapped inside a prophecy marked by the number 7? In Vietnam, every year marked by the number 7 seems to shake the nation, like the heartbreaking tragedy that occurred on the 7th day of the month. A couple, 7 years apart in age, 2 children, 7 years between them. And right before the incident, 7 security guards suddenly didn't show up. Coincidence? Or something more chilling? Even more terrifying is a vision shared by Japanese manga artist Rio Tatsuki, known for predicting disasters through her dreams. She warned, in July 2025, a great accident will strike the Asia-Pacific region. In her dream, she saw it from above, bubbles rising in the Pacific. Then, the seafloor explodes. A giant tsunami swallows 1/3 to 1/4 of Japan. But here's the twist. Tatsuki didn't call it a disaster. She called it a great accident, because disasters come from nature. But accidents are caused by us. The great accident foreseen in July 2025 may not be just natural. It could involve nuclear weapons or bombs. In her book, The Future I Saw, published in 1999, 13 out of 15 of Tatsuki's dreams have already come true. On January 2nd, 1995, she dreamed of a future disaster hitting Kobe. Just 15 days later, on January 17th, a 7.3 magnitude quake struck Kobe, one of Japan's deadliest since the Kanto quake of 1923. Then, on January 11th, 1996, she dreamed again. 15 years later, in March 2011, a mega disaster will hit eastern Japan. She even printed that date, March 2011 disaster, on the cover of her manga. And on March 11th, 2011, at 2:46 a.m., the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami hit. Once again, her dream came true. One of the most devastating disasters of the 21st century. A 9.0 magnitude earthquake struck eastern Japan on March 11th, 2011. It was the first ever quake above magnitude 9 recorded in Japan. triggering a 40-meter tsunami and a catastrophic nuclear leak. The aftermath was staggering. At least 15,000 dead, over 2,000 missing, 6,000 injured, and more than 1.2 million homes damaged. Since then, March 11th has been designated as Japan's National Disaster Prevention Day. But the most haunting part? Rio Tatsuki, the Japanese manga artist, dreamed of this exact event 15 years before it happened, and she's not alone. Drawing from the 29th hexagram Kan in the I Ching, Hong Kong divination expert Sam Ngai-Fei warned, all three lines point to water, meaning tsunami or earthquakes. The years 2025 to 2028 will bring severe global calamities. He even predicted, if a quake and tsunami hit at 5:35 a.m., May 5th, 2025, that would perfectly fulfill the Kan hexagram. July, a month already tied to pain and memory, now aligns across Eastern dreams and Western prophecies. Can we still call it a coincidence? If this story made you reflect, touched your heart, or opened your eyes, leave a comment, drop a heart, share it with someone you care about, and don't forget to subscribe. Because the more we awaken together, the stronger we become. Even the Kan hexagram, warning from Master Sam Ngai-Fei, seems to point toward one fragile moment in time. July 2025. Of course, no one can say for certain if disaster will really strike, and no one hopes it does. But the eerie convergence of dreams, prophecies, and past tragedies leads many to wonder, is this all coincidence? Or are we being warned? While there's still time to prepare, from the West comes another chilling prophecy. Meet Craig Hamilton Parker, a British psychic known for correctly predicting Donald Trump's election and Brexit. He later shocked the world again by accurately forecasting the COVID-19 outbreak and its Chinese origins. Western media now call him the new Nostradamus, and his latest forecast for 2025 is making Beijing extremely nervous. Parker predicts massive corruption scandals and political turmoil in China will be exposed, including high-level bribery and internal collapse. Craig Hamilton Parker believes the Chinese Communist Party's rule will collapse and the nation will be divided, much like post-war Europe. But from the darkness, he sees a light. A spiritual awakening will rise across China. People will break free from the deception of atheism and the disasters it has brought. Beyond politics, Parker emphasizes something deeper. In times of chaos, when nature strikes back, only morality and goodness can save us. Whether you believe in prophecy or not, one truth remains. When ethics decay, when hearts grow cold, nature will retaliate, and the price will be devastating. Centuries ago, Eastern sages already warned of the same truth. In the secret prophecy of Jinling Tower, Liu Bowen wrote, "The years of tiger, cat, dragon, and snake shall be hard to pass. Survive them, and you'll live like an immortal." The years 2022 to 2025 are seen as a chain of great calamities, where natural disasters, wars, pandemics, and moral collapse converge, pushing humanity into its most severe test in decades. But within that same prophecy lies a path forward. The Year of the Horse, 2026, will mark the return of stability. According to the 5 Officials Sutra, Ngu Kong Kin, if people cultivate virtue and kindness through the tiger, cat, dragon, and snake years, then in the horse year, peace will be restored. This isn't just a prophecy, it's a wake-up call. Only through moral cultivation and compassion can we hope to survive these dark years. Even in the national Vietnamese version of the Prophecies of Trang Trinh, verses 185 to 190, it is written, "The tiger roars, the cat cries, the dragon soars, the snake slithers, the horse bolts, the demon bares its teeth." These refer to the years: tiger, 2022, cat, 2023, dragon, 2024, snake, 2025, horse, 2026. Each year brings a wave of turmoil, and by the year of the horse, when the wild horse and demon clash, it will mark the fall of evil and the rebirth of virtue. Dark forces seem to be rising. Natural disasters, strange phenomena, and invisible threats are shaking our Earth, like silent warnings, or perhaps consequences humanity can no longer ignore. But amidst all this chaos, one eerie coincidence stands out. Vietnamese sage Nguyễn Bỉnh Khiêm once pointed to the year 2026 as a turning point, an end to suffering, and the beginning of peace for mankind. This reminds us that no prophecy is absolute destiny. It is human choices that shape our future. If we know how to return to kindness, to live with virtue, to respect the divine and nurture the good within us, then even the most terrifying disasters can still be avoided. But if people continue to live selfishly, harming others for personal gain, then yes, tragedy is only a matter of time. Dear friends, we've just revisited a series of powerful prophecies. Some have come true. Others are still waiting for time to answer. But one thing is clear. When human morality declines, the world itself begins to shake. These are more than just predictions. They are warnings. The more unstable things get, the more we need kindness, unity, and integrity. Only by returning to what is right can we overcome what lies ahead. If you want to continue discovering untold mysteries, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because the next video might change the way you see the universe.